Kathleen Kennedy ready to retire, but is waiting for a win, according to entertainment analysts. So here's the thing. That just confirms that Kathleen Kennedy's never going to retire because she's not going to get a win. So this is over on That Park Place. Shout out to That Park Place. And it says Kathleen Kennedy apparently has something in common with much of the Star Wars fan base. She wants Kathleen Kennedy to leave Lucasfilm. But according to Film Threats Chris Gore, she's only willing to walk out of the door under one condition. Let's see, namely, she wants to leave on the heels of a massive critical and commercial success. That's something Lucasfilm hasn't experienced in quite some time. Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
And how narcissistic, man. Like... Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's so narcissistic.
Yeah, I mean, she's this is just laughable because you could have had win after win after win after win if you wasn't pushing identity politics the whole time. Since Disney's initial acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012, the company has been under the direction of film industry veteran Kathleen Kennedy. Back then, the longtime George Lucas and Steven Spielberg associate, promised George that she would take care of his life's work. She has done anything but. Under Kennedy, the Star Wars franchise has gone from the most evergreen IP of all time to a sour note punching bag for YouTubers and streamers the world over. That's right, baby. Listen, Kathleen Kennedy single-handedly built Geeks and Gamers with her incompetent storytelling. I personally appreciate her for that. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy, for giving me the platform that I have by producing the biggest pile of shit we've ever seen. Kennedy presided over the deeply unpopular Star Wars sequel trilogy, which saw the deconstruction and eventual death of Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, while pushing a younger and more diverse cast. Here you have three ladies right here. Actually, my bad. Two ladies and Leslie Headland. She also oversaw Solo, a Star Wars story. By the way, Solo lost money, which holds the distinction of being the first ever Star Wars film to lose money at the box office. When you couple that with the critical and commercial failures of Disney Plus, like Acolyte, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the Book of Boba Fett, it becomes clear under Kennedy's supervision, Star Wars has fallen a long way from the powerhouse sci-fi franchise it once was. With every failed project and announcement that never ultimately sees the light of day, fans around the world ask a series of unifying questions. When will Kathleen Kennedy leave Star Wars? When will Disney fire Kathleen Kennedy? How does Kathleen Kennedy still have a job? According to Film Threats Chris Gore, on a recent episode of The Pro Show with WW Pro, Kathleen Kennedy actually wants to leave Lucasfilm, but only under a very specific circumstance. We've been hearing lately that Kennedy is not very hands-on with Star Wars at this point. Hollywood scooper WDW Pro said to Chris Gore on a recent episode of his live stream YouTube show. Are you hearing anything similar that she may be operating in title only, at least for now? Gore then confirmed that he was hearing similar rumblings before dropping a bit more information. She wants to retire and leave, Gore said, but she wants to do it with a win. Gore went on to say that in order to leave, Kennedy wants a huge success that she can ride into retirement. This could be a smash hit television show or a major box office victory with a theatrical release. In other words, she wants to go out on a high note like George Costanza on Seinfeld. She's waiting to go out on a big win, and she hasn't had one. She's 71 years old. So what do you think? Do you think that there's any legitimacy to this? Obviously, Chris Gore is he's a pretty awesome guy because he paid me a good amount of money to say that. So Chris Gore's a great guy. He's a wonderful guy. No, in all honesty, Chris is great.
He's a great guy.
And so this makes a lot of sense. She's 71 years old. She clearly doesn't want to continue to do this, but she's not going to go out without having a critical success and a financial success, because that way the fans don't win, the toxic fans don't win. You know what I mean?
It's not going to happen. Like, this is so Star Wars is in a much worse place than the MCU was. And at least that the MCU, what they had is they had these Fox characters. People still like Deadpool, obviously. They brought the nostalgia back with bringing Hugh Jackman to back with Wolverine. He's got great chemistry with Ryan Reynolds. That worked. Star Wars has fucking nothing. They have ruined everything. We don't have any of our legacy characters anymore. They ruined the Kenobi show. That's not going to get a second season. They ruined the Mandalorian. Any hype that they had in Disney Star Wars was the Mandalorian season 1 through 2, and you fucked it up with season 3 and by firing Gina Carano. So there's no recovering that. I don't think people are going to give a shit about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Nobody's going to give a fuck about the Rey movie. And Ahsoka, nobody really cares about Ahsoka either. It didn't do that well at all. So they literally have nothing with any of the characters they have right now to salvage anything. They're fucked. And with, not to mention even the Acolyte, I almost even forgot. And we're only a few weeks removed from that shit show. They have nothing. They have no hidden grand slam that they can use to send Kathleen Kennedy out on a high note. She knows that she's not good for Lucasfilm, but she is so fucking narcissistic and has her head shoved so far up her ass that she wants to just have one big success that she can ride off into the sunset on. It's not going to happen because they don't have the assets for it with any of the characters that they have. They're fucked. She's fucked.
They've killed off all the iconic characters. They've already ruined it because, unlike Marvel, Star Wars is one timeline. It's just one timeline. So you can't you can't create a different universe or something like that. I mean, I guess in theory you can because you have the world in between worlds bullshit and all of that, but they can't. They've already screwed it up too much.
There's only one that I can think of. And if they did it right, without fucking it up with identity politics, which we know that they cannot do, but if they were to do an older Ben Kenobi and a Darth Maul movie, that would do, I think people would come back for that. If the trailers, if it looked promising, I think that movie might do well.
Look at this. Guys, we all just go to the next movie so she leaves. Oh, everybody just goes to the movie, buys all the tickets, and says it's the greatest thing ever, and then she leaves.